Should we go right into Mario Wonder?
Oh, sure. I like it a lot.
I was really excited to download it. I got Gloria excited to download it. And then she really wanted to play as Daisy. But Daisy is one of the normal characters. So she has to have some skill. And she covets power-ups. So at all times, same with 3D World. At all times, I have to be throwing her power-ups for equity purposes. But then, like, this game is smart enough to have Yoshi's and Nabbit as, like, basically invincible characters. So you can play co-op with they were smart enough to know that you might be playing co-op with a child. The problem is she doesn't want to play as those characters, and they can still fall down pits and die. And so she's going to fall down pits too. So we got about a world in, and we were loving it, and she was loving the Wonder Seeds and everything else, but she kind of bowed out, and then I kept going. And so I'm like one world away from beating it, I think. And it's hard to imagine a game better suited for me. It is like it's right on my level. It's like it's because they seem to have ditched a lot of the pretense of. I assume there's replayability in this game, but it doesn't seem to be one of their priorities. They seem to be like they're trying to surprise you and excite you with things you haven't seen yet. They're not obsessed with like now go back to every level and do some trivial bullshit.
Well, you can because they have those like they have those like 10 coin purple things that you have to you could collect if you wanted to.
They have that,
and of course the extra Wonder Seeds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I view the extra Wonder Seed as part of completing a level. Like you should get that because you really haven't experienced the level if you haven't experienced the Wonder Seed, but. Yeah, so for those who haven't played the game, so obviously we had the 2D retro Marios, and they went very well. Didn't we love them? From Dinosaur Land. He got the little yellow cape, and you couldn't keep him up in the air. He kept going womp, 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 and fell all the way down.
And there were the Koopa kids that we thought they were Bowser's children at the time. We were told that. We were told that they're still Bowser's children to me.
They were bastards. Iggy and Poopy and every one of them. Icky and Sticky. Icky Koopaling. So, Icky and Sticky and Poopy and... I got new names for the Koopa kids in case anybody's interested. Doesn't it sometimes feel like the introduction and addition of Bowser Jr., in Sunshine, doesn't it kind of feel like they forgot that they already did the Koopaling thing and then they kind of had to make him part of the picture? Like the blended family?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they retconned it. Yeah. I don't know why they did it, but they did it.
Well, what is the actual canon now? Are the Koopalings in fact his children?
I think they're his like soldiers. His child soldiers. Unrelated child soldiers.
And then, they went the 3D route and that sent them off in a different direction. And then they made the DS, New Super Mario Brothers, which was just kind of a really nice novelty for your DS. And then they made like 17 of these kind of generic games from the phone one, Mario Run, the Mario Maker level.
And the art style didn't change much. It was really kind of like they came up with an art style and they kind of stuck with it until the Wii U, basically.
The Wii U one was the one that it feels like that was the last straw for audiences. They were like, wait a minute, you are microwaving the same meal for me over and over and over again here. So I think Nintendo figured that out. I mean, it's a pretty smart company. And, if you listen to the likes of Arlo, you'd hear that they went through a period, like a post-Wii period, where, that sounds dirtier than I meant for it. Post-Wii period. Where they were really stuck on, like, standardizing the art, the look, the gameplay, the characters, no deviations from the norm, don't be too creative. And so it was like, if you're ever going to release another 2D Mario, it better be way off the beaten path. And so this game, of course, does deserve to be applauded for its creativity and for its non-conformism. I mean, that's like its defining feature. But at the same time, I feel like you could release this, if you would have released this game if you didn't have those new Super Mario Brothers games, you wouldn't applaud it for being so creative in quite the same way. It's only surprising because those games were so, prefab.
Yeah, the new Super Mario Brothers series was interesting to start with because, they were doing the 3D Marios for a while, and so it was kind of cool. It was a return to form. It was cool. The downside is that they didn't innovate very much, and they came up with like a couple renders for Mario. They stuck with it, and that's it. Mario Wonder. Yeah, they designed him to look more like kind of the animated art style that was like on the packaging of Super Mario Brothers 2 and stuff and 3. And so it has that kind of like personality to it, which is very nice.
I love that.
Cuz even like the way he jumps like in New Super Mario Brothers, like his jump is like it's like more modeled after how he jumps in like Mario 64 DS and not how he like jumps in like a 2D Mario game. And so they make his jump more look like the way it looked in 2D, which is great. And just the little like the character flourishes, like when he goes up a pipe, he like kicks his little feet. His little feet are kicking, and or when he goes in the side, his like hat comes out and he like grabs it. Just like a little, like it feels like they were having a lot of fun with it, and some part of me wishes they even pushed it even further.
I agree.
But I'm glad to see it. And then the Wonder Flower abilities and unique to almost every single level is crazy. It's crazy how much thought and care went into each one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think probably the gameplay is the perfect balance of still having a distinctively Mario identity while being creative with the gameplay. But I think the art style they could have pushed further, probably. They could have made it even more kind of, I don't know, like commit to something even more distinct, and I think that would have been fun. But overall, a really successful experiment. I'm just like, even the most fun games, like, I'm the kind of guy who has very little attention span for video games if they're not thrilling me, and this thing keeps me in it. Whereas I have been going back to Sonic Superstars, and I'll die on something stupid and I'll give up. I'll go right back to Mario Wonder, which is fun.
Yeah, and it's not very hard. It's like the perfect kind of difficulty. You can blaze through it, but you can search for things if you want to. And and I really like, what do I like? Oh, the badges. I like the badges.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like an inventory of skills, which is a smart way to do it. And there's not a ton of them, so you can really dial in the one you like the best. And like the little challenge levels where you have to use certain badges. I think that was a really smart way to mix things up.
I heard some people saying that it was a more difficult Mario game than most, and I haven't necessarily felt that way about it. I feel like the difficulty is exactly, it's a hard thing getting the difficulty for a game right, where it's like, is it fun? Because fun means challenging but rewarding. Like challenge, reward, challenge, reward. You have to keep that balance alive. And nobody does that better than Nintendo, but I mean, I've been playing some more retro NES and Genesis, and they got that balance wrong, man.
No. I mean, my favorite Marios are where you can get to the end, no problem, and then afterwards there's special stages that, like in Mario 3D World, those special stages, some of those levels are like frickin' impossible. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's my
I
favorite
like
balance.
One of the most talked about elements of it are the little flowers that talk to you.
What a beautiful day!
I think they're funny, and they've helped me a couple times. They've been like, "Do you feel like you've missed something?" I think maybe one of those things ate it.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
We were joking around about like the talking flowers, and somehow I stumbled upon maybe they could be talking flower gothics, and how funny would it be to have little like, Mario runs past one and she's like, "Okay, fine, I'll talk about it." Do you feel like you missed something?
You might notice some talking flowers. get close and
Hello everyone, my name is Flower Gothic. Fine, I'll make an actual video. Things are seldom what they seem.
livening up your adventure.
Non semper e sunt quae diventer.
Mario Wonder reminds me a little bit of like the Game Boy Mario games were also these total departures, right? Like it's not the first time Mario's been a total departure from himself.
Yeah, like I talked about in my Game Boy video, like Super Mario Land 2 is kind of weird because it's non-linear. You can go to any of the worlds you want. It's got like the enemy characters are different in every single world. It's definitely a departure in that sense, but it still feels like Mario, and I think Mario Wonder is very much in that same vein.
Yeah.
Because you got the flower element, the flower kingdom. So there's a lot of unique flower kingdom enemies, which is nice to see.
I think something that keeps me like really excited the whole time that I'm playing is the knowledge that like even when I'm approaching something that looks like traditional Mario, like fighting Bowser Jr. or something, I'm like, oh, okay. He rolls around in his shell and you bump him 3 times, right? But you know going into it, you're like, no, but I'm playing Mario Wonder. So they're going to throw some curveball at me that I've never seen before. Like they're going to subvert absolutely everything. And then like even come to find out like actually you have to hit him 4 times instead of 3 times, in addition to all the other theatrics they add to it. So it's just fun. Like you walk up to something new and you're like, what are they going to do to surprise? It's for Mario fans who are bored of Mario, which is like,
Yeah.
how smart is that?
Yeah. No, I like it mixes it up just enough,
Yep.
which is all you really need to do.
And there's no time limits generally, unless it's a gimmick, unless it's part of the game. Do something within the time.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I like the currency system. That's really fun too. So I can buy some stuff. Like Mario's never, there've been Toad houses, but you've never been able to buy something.
Yeah, that's really true. Like for a game that gives you a ton of coins, you never really use the coins for anything.
Yeah. And so now that you have the purple coins, which kind of keep you, they can kind of pop out from anywhere. It made me think. I was like, because you could easily give Mario and Nintendo a lot of crap for being too prefabbed in the past before this, but think about it, like. Just in the last 6 years, Mario Odyssey, that's a pretty big departure. Where just the notion that you can take your hat, throw it onto literally any enemy in the entire world, and you can now play as that thing. That's a pretty cool mechanic. Not to mention Galaxy was pretty far out there too. But so like,
Which was 16 years ago.
yeah. So
Mario Galaxy was 16 years ago.
They've been, yeah. You think of like Mario 2 as 16 years ago. 16 years ago. So Mario Odyssey, Bowser's Fury, I think was a really cool, innovative Mario thing. Like, hey, what if it was all one giant world, right? Mario Maker, which is like, how about traditional Mario any way you want it served? And now this, I'm like, these guys are... Yeah. And then the Mario movie on top of it, where they felt comfortable enough to go with a different voice altogether and reinvent Bowser as a strange Jack Black type. Mario's been killing it this year.
This horny Bowser. Even in the marketing for Mario Wonder, they had Bowser give a flower to Peach, and then she turns into Elephant Peach, and then he gets a bigger bouquet and gives it to her. Like he's like, ooh, the thick peach is really... Yeah, the thick peach makes me even hornier.
Because it could go either way. He could be like, oh, never mind. I don't want an elephant. But
No. You should look. It's I don't know, somewhere on Nintendo's Twitter timeline, but it's this little video where he gives a flower, and then when she turns into thick peach, she gives a bigger bouquet. It's pretty good. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know how hot they can all make us with Bowser giving flowers to thick Elephant Peach. They know what's cooking.
How many when we were trick or treating, there were so many Mario characters. Like both of my boys were Toads, they wanted to both be Toads, but there was so many Marios, so many Luigis out there. I can tell you that much. So Nintendo's they're raking it in.
Yeah, they played they played the movie at my church, and the kids got to they were asked to build little box cars out of cardboard for like make it look like Mario Kart, and they decorated the whole hallway of the church like looking like Mario Kart. And I'm sitting there going, and earlier this year there was an outdoor movie night in my town, like the recreation center, and they played Mario, and I just thought, I was like, this is the movie. Like, has there been another movie in the last 10 years that's this like? Play that one and everything will be fine. You can play it in a church. You can play it in a town square. You can play it to literally like any, like no kid's going to object to this movie. It's going to hit every gender. It's going to hit every age. It's going to hit like, it's quick. Oh man. Like I was sitting there watching it at church, and he's at the Mushroom Kingdom at like 17 minutes or something crazy. Like they get him there. That movie moves. They just serve you what you need.
like Marvel needs to Marvel and Star Wars need to take notes.
Yeah, it's not like Mario is reshooting the whole movie, you know, after the fact.
4 episodes to get to like anything happening.
Yeah, 17 minutes. 17. He's ready.
17, you ready?
I feel like this game is inspired by a lot of other new innovative 2D platformers like Rayman Legends, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I feel like those have more of these kinds of elements in Mario Wonder than the new Super Mario Brothers games did. It's one of those but those games, I'm sure, you know, the original Mario Brothers paved the way for games like that, and now they're getting, you know, they're being re-inspired. It's one of those things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like how games were inspired by Zelda, and then I think Breath of the Wild definitely took from other games that inspired Zelda. So because when you play Breath of the Wild, you see some like Dark Souls in there. You see Skyrim. You see a bunch of other things. Like Nintendo has been, I think, looks around at the industry and like takes back what is already given. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, I pick up Mario Wonder. It's if you're anything like me, if you like Animal Crossing, play that some more.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.